Kathmandu, ancient city of mystique and legend. Nestled in its heart, hidden on dusty Krishnapati Road, stood an old manor. Forgotten and forlorn, it was a relic of a bygone era. Its once bright walls were now faded and cracked. Vines, like skeletal fingers, gripped the crumbling stone. Locals whispered tales of the manor. They spoke of strange occurrences, shadows moving within. The manor stood as a silent sentinel. It watched over the city with empty eyes. Many had dared to venture inside. None had stayed long enough to tell the tale. Its sinister reputation preceded it. It was said that the manor held secrets, dark secrets that were best left undisturbed. One man, drawn by curiosity, approached the manor. His name was Vikram, a writer of ghost stories. He had heard the whispers. He sought inspiration within the manor's haunted walls. As he stepped through the rusted gates, the air grew cold. A shiver ran down his spine. He felt a presence watching him. The old wooden door creaked open as if inviting him in. Vikram stepped inside. Dust motes danced in the pale shafts of light. The air was thick with the smell of decay. Silence hung heavy, broken only by the sound of his own breathing. He felt a growing sense of unease. Something wasn't right. Vikram ventured further into the manor. Each room was empty, yet filled with a palpable sense of dread. Shadows stretched and twisted, playing tricks on his eyes. He could hear the wind howling outside like a mournful cry. Or was it just his imagination? He shook his head, trying to dispel the growing fear. He discovered a library, its shelves stacked with dusty tomes. As he reached for a book, he felt a cold breath on his neck. He spun around, heart pounding. Nothing. He was alone. Yet the feeling of being watched intensified. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was not alone. He found a diary, its pages filled with frantic scribbles. The diary spoke of a family driven to madness. They were haunted by something unseen, something evil. With each page, the writing became more erratic, more desperate. The final entry simply read, "It has us now. We are lost." Vikram closed the diary, a chill running down his spine. He had stumbled upon something truly sinister. The manor was more than just an abandoned building. It was a place of unspeakable horror. He had to leave, escape the suffocating darkness that was closing in. Section 5. The Screaming Portrait. As Vikram turned to leave, he saw it, a portrait of a man, his face contorted in a silent scream. His eyes seemed to follow Vikram, burning into his soul. As Vikram stared, the portrait flickered. The man in the painting seemed to move, his silent scream becoming a blood-curdling wail. Vikram stumbled back, his heart pounding in his chest. He had to get out, now. Terror lent speed to his feet. He ran towards the exit, the screams of the portrait echoing behind him. The shadows seemed to reach out, trying to grab him. Section 6. When Shadows Stir. He ran through the manor, his breath catching in his throat. The shadows were alive, swirling and twisting, forming grotesque shapes. They blocked his way, herding him deeper into the manor's dark heart. He was trapped. Panic welled up inside him. He could hear the whispers again, closer now, taunting him. They seemed to be everywhere, surrounding him. He was lost in a labyrinth of his own fear. There was no escape. Section 7. The Truth in the Shadows. He stumbled into a large, dusty room. In the center of the room, a figure stood bathed in moonlight. It was the man from the portrait, his face a mask of rage and despair. He reached out a hand towards Vikram. The man spoke, his voice a low growl. He told Vikram of his fate, trapped within the manor for eternity. He spoke of the shadows, the true inhabitants of the house. He was a prisoner here, just like Vikram was about to become. Section 8. Escape from Krishnapati Road. Vikram dodged the man's grasp. He saw a window, a glimmer of hope. He lunged for it, shattering the glass with his bare hands. He scrambled through the window, ignoring the pain. He ran, not daring to look back. He didn't stop running until he reached the familiar streets of Kathmandu. He looked back at the manor, silhouetted against the rising sun. It looked almost peaceful, but he knew the truth. Section 9. Haunted Memories. Vikram never returned to the manor, but the manor never left him. He was haunted by the memories. The screaming portrait, the whispers, the man in the shadows. His dreams were plagued by the manor's darkness. He was forever changed. The manor on Krishnapati Road remained, a silent sentinel guarding its secrets. It stood as a warning, a reminder that some doors are best left unopened, some secrets best left buried. For within those walls the shadows still stirred, and they waited.